Okay, so we are live now. Okay, everybody. Sir Charles Cary here. We're talking to you about customer service. That's what today's segment is all about, customer service. You know, whether you like it, what you feel about it, you know, how you've experienced it, and so forth and so on and so on. And for those of you who don't know, what I do is I do a blog every week for LinkedIn. Not necessarily for LinkedIn, but for my page on LinkedIn. And I speak about topics that I speak about topics that are in my wheelhouse. And that's usually the personal development and the professional development space. And this week, I was writing about customer service and, you know, the level of customer service that people get or don't get, and the fact that customer service is overrated. That's what a lot of people, have an opinion on. Now, I don't know what your take is, but interested in hearing what you think about it, how you feel about it, because that's what today's topic is going to be about. So if you are a customer service person, whether you give it or you've had a recent, if you've had a recent bad experience, and it's weird that I should say that because I recently had a bad experience. That's right. I made an order from Amazon and my order did not come. So what did I do? I called customer service. And what did they do? They told me they understood my problem and that they would take care of it. And guess what? They didn't. UPS, the United Parcel Service. Went through this whole long, drawn-out escapade with them, called customer service, tried to get some feedback, didn't get the feedback that I was looking for. You know, I tell you, sometimes it's just hard. You try to be nice, and then you find that you have to go the extra mile with some people. Hey, David, welcome to the call. We're talking about customer service and how you feel about it. So back to my story real quick. Didn't get my package on time. Called customer service to find out what happened. They promised to give it to me. They still did not meet the deadline or do what they said they would do. So what did I do? I told them it's okay. Send it the next day. I made a little complaint. But then I started getting some pushback. So I went right to Twitter and I started complaining. And they asked me to not tweet about the issue. Basically, that's what it was. They said, if you have any issue, please send us an email. So after about 2 or 3 tweets, I asked them on Twitter, what are you going to do for me if I send you an email because you already know my issue? They wanted to know what my issue was and, They wanted to know what my issue was and how they could resolve it. And I'm thinking, you already know my issue, so why aren't you resolving it already? And that's United Parcel Service. And believe it or not, I work for the United Parcel Service in New York City. And it was just crazy. The woman wound up hanging up on me. It was just ridiculous. So, as usual, I had to wait. I waited, and then today I got my package. The UPS man knocked on my door like he was crazy. It was a good thing I wasn't really ready to take the call because I was really kind of uptight. And it may not have been a good exchange between men. And I didn't want to go there because really there's no reason. But, I made it clear it was not the driver's fault. It was the customer service representative who was their fault for not doing their part. He banged on the door. I walked to the door, and I said, who is it? As he's getting to the elevator, he's saying, UPS, and he's walking, and the doors are closing. That's not good customer service. So I may call them or even tweet about, that. It's just crazy, though. Maybe I should just leave it alone. I don't know. But Sharon, how you doing? Welcome to the call. Please feel free to jump in the seat. We need some perspective, some varying opinions on this topic, because I know it's going to fill up. And I know you have a different perspective than I would. I'm more direct and, you know, I don't pull punches, you know, so, but I try to be easygoing, but I'm just not. I don't have a lot of tolerance for redundancy, and I don't have a lot of tolerance for fluff. But David, when was the last time you had a bad customer service experience?
I believe it was at a restaurant just a few weeks ago.
Wow.
And one of the problems that I had was that the waitress was trying to text and work with her cell phone at the same time that she was taking my order, and, you know, forgetting some things every time that you would stop her and ask her for something.
Right.
She'd say okay, and then the next thing you know, she was over in the corner, you know, on her phone texting.
Right.
I believe that has become one of the greatest enemies of customer service in this modern day era.
Right.
You know, because, you know, people can't seem to separate themselves from their electronic devices long enough to do the work or do the job that they're hired to do.
Exactly. You know, I think I was at had an engagement yesterday, I think it was, and I was telling some of these young people that technology is one of the greatest things we've had. It serves us in so many ways, but it can also work against us. I wasn't talking to you, Siri. Siri thinks I was talking to her. Anytime I say something that sounds like Siri, she gets excited and starts to try to answer my questions. But I was telling them that they're going to get so used to doing this, they're not going to know how to deal with people. They're not going to know how to look at someone, to be honest. They're not going to know how to read someone. They're going to be in a bad position from a perspective of understanding the benefits and the values of personal relationships. So I agree with you.
Absolutely.
Now, when was your most recent, I guess, positive experience?
Well, I would say that the most positive experience that I've had was also with the restaurant. It seems like I eat all the time, but with the restaurant, you know, someone that was very attentive, did everything that we had asked them to do and went beyond the call of duty. And those are the type of people that I like to reward.
Right.
You
now,
know,
was it the same restaurant?
No, it was actually at a different restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have a clip. I'm taking a chance here because I really don't know what's in the clip. I should have screened it first. I have a clip on customer service I want to share with you, and let's see if customer service is overrated or not. Let's see it from another perspective. This should add a little more value to the conversation. Okay, here it comes.
Congratulations on your new job in customer service. Maybe you're fresh out of college, or you've been laid off from your career. Maybe it's all you can get in this economy.
Or you've been laid off from your career. Maybe it's all you can get in this economy. Right now, you're probably thinking, well, first, this is still better than being homeless or dead.
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
That woman just answered her cell phone in the middle of ordering her triple shot soy latte.
In the middle of ordering her shot soy latte, that's nothing.
This guy won't let you valet his Dodge Charger.
This jerk wants a free meal because the steak he ordered extra well done.
Wants a free meal because the steak he ordered extra well done is too dry.
The customer once bought a shade of
Downright
eyeshadow. Bring them a later.
A customer once bought a shade of
You can't
eyeshadow.
return it. You lose half of it. What
You
am I
can't
supposed to
return
do with that? I can sell it. Your eyes have been.
What am I supposed to do with that?
First,
Sell it?
feel the urge to fight
I'm
back.
Because it's the principle of it.
first.
Because
Feel
they're
the
human
urge to
beings.
fight back.
They're thinking.
Because it's the
Why
principle.
should terrible people be rewarded for terrible behavior? But that's just
Terrible people be rewarded for
No
terrible.
one told me that looking at bald or less attractive version of Ryan Reynolds.
No one told me that I looked at a bolder, less attractive version of Ryan Reynolds.
I
And
still think people are inherently good.
left
Do
the
you
store.
still have some shred of hope for
I still
humanity?
think people People are
Still not
inherently
wish for all humankind to be swallowed into the pits of hell where it belongs?
Still not wish for all humankind to be swallowed in the pits of hell where it belongs?
I once had a woman ride into the car with me as I valeted. It was,
I
quote,
once had a woman ride
too
into the
nice to let someone
valeted.
mess it up.
It was, quote, it was too nice to let someone
And he started sneaking a flask into work or getting high as a kite behind the dumpster in your lunch break.
sneaking a flask into work or getting high as a kite behind the dumpster in your lunch break? No?
You feel like an empty husk of your former self.
When your dreams are slipping from your grasp,
You feel like an empty husk of
that
your
life
phone.
is an endless sad parade of disappointment
grasp.
and failure.
that life is
You,
an
good. Now you're getting it.
You do? Good. Now you're getting it.
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
Just when you
It
think
gets
it's
worse.
just when you think that you've dealt with a single worst human being this kind is capable of
Just when you think that you've dealt with
It's
a
doing
single
someone worse. Probably before the end of your term.
creating.
A few weeks ago, a man who could have been my father said to me,
A few weeks ago, a man who could have been my father said to me,
it was at his wife's surprise birthday party.
I could feel the
Alien
It
Apocalypse
was at his wife's surprise birthday party. Do you watch Alien Apocalypse?
Multiple fantasies about dealing with awful customers that would all land you in
Multiple
jail.
fantasies about dealing with awful customers that would all land you in jail. Nine nights looking at the ceiling,
Congratulations.
fire
You're
you
now a
don't
true member of the customer service industry.
Congratulations.
You're now a true member of the customer service industry.
Unions,
You have
regular hours,
Holidays off.
Unions,
Vacation.
overtime pay,
regular hours,
holidays off.
Drop of a hat.
Vacations.
Drop of a hat.
overtime pay.
And you can replace the drop of a hat. But you know
it
one
gets
thing
worse.
guaranteed. It gets worse.
It gets worse.
So
Just-
much worse.
It gets. I just can't.
Wow. That was interesting. Very, very interesting. So, is customer service overrated? What are your thoughts?
Are you asking me? I'm saying still not at all.
No, I would have to agree with you. I don't think it is. I think it's underappreciated on various levels, unfortunately. I teach customer service, and I've been teaching customer service for, going on 11 years now. And it's hard for me because I have to check myself when I'm in a situation to see if I'm being extra hard on the customer, because when you teach a thing or you know a little more about something than the average person, sometimes you have a tendency to be a little extra harder on people, or you have a higher level of expectation. But I don't know. I find it hard to accept some levels of bad customer service based on the golden rule. Treat people like you want to be treated. There are so many different nuances to delivering good customer service. And I know that because I've been teaching it, but I also know that before I even heard of customer service, I was able to deliver it. Not that I was an angel or anything, but I was able to deliver it based on the way that I was raised. Simple principles. Be nice. You don't speak too loudly in certain environments. How do you sit at a table? You don't make noise. You don't chew with your mouth open. I mean, just simple, basic things. And in today's society, like you mentioned, David, someone trying to be on their cell phone or use a cell phone while working, it just doesn't fly. So, I just can't see how there's so many companies that don't have enough. I have another example for you, but there's so many companies that don't have enough insight or don't care enough to try better. I don't know how often you fly, David, but I fly, a few times a year, and for conferences and whatever. And I go to Spirit Airlines, and my goodness, the price is right, but the service is lousy. I'm sorry. And I keep saying I won't do it again. But when I wait too long and I want to book a flight, I'll look at Spirit and I go, okay, fine, I can handle it. But it's horrible customer service. Sometimes whether it's the delayed flight, sometimes the accommodations, I mean, it's like they say you pay for what you get. Have you ever flown Spirit?
Never have. I usually fly either United or Delta.
I highly recommend that you continue to do that. Yeah. Oh, I see a comment here. Sharon says, yes, Charles, a major need is using the Queen's English. Speak in $10 words. People tend to rush to profanity to express their answers and or requests. Oh, that's coming from Reba. Okay. Thank you, Reba. And that's true. But, you know, as a presenter and as a trainer, I think it's, again, I go back to thinking about the golden rule. You don't always have to be sophisticated or complicated or try to sound profound. A simple message can reach people on various levels. And whether I'm speaking about customer service or presentation skills or whatever the topic may be, I find it very important to just to keep it simple. You know, I want everyone to understand what I'm saying, and I would like to be able to understand what everyone is trying to convey to me or what everyone is trying to convey in a given conversation or topic. So I do believe it's important to keep it simple. Tone versus tone. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But I wonder, Reba, I see you're responding in the chat. Have you recently had a good or bad customer service experience that you can share with us? Give her a second to respond. Yeah. She may be thinking, but
Charles, I was can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah, I was actually in a restaurant on Sunday, and an off-duty waitress and a waiter were actually holding such a loud conversation at another table that the waitress that was taking my order couldn't even hear what I was saying. And I literally had to ask them to, ask them to quiet down so that I could put my order in. Now, they excused themselves and said they were sorry and all, and, but they, but basically, I just felt like that was just poor, just a poor business practice.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I don't know why the managers don't intervene and try to insist that the employees do a better job, because, I mean, it's a reflection on them, honestly. It really is. It's a reflection on the managers, it's a reflection on the owners, and it can be a reflection on the franchise. Like my experience with this UPS experience recently. I worked for them when I was in New York, and it's like crazy. To me, UPS is too big of an organization to allow something like this to happen. But, in the big scheme of things, I figure maybe there's a small amount of negative incidents that take place. And I get it. Okay, no problem. But it doesn't transfer up and down the line, the business line. I find that a lot of companies, training is the first thing to go if they even have a budget. They're not so concerned about the level of customer service, but they want to have it and they want to brag on it, but they don't employ their people or train their people properly. And then if you ask for training, many times they won't provide training for the employee or allow the employee to go out to training in certain instances. Not all, but in certain instances. Let's see, I see there's a comment here. Reba's talking about her experience. She had an experience today at her bank. They removed the fee for her banking account. No argument, just a few minutes or review and prompt action. Oh, okay, that was a positive experience. Okay, great. That's great. I think we need more of those positive experiences for obvious reasons. But What about Dion? Well, if you want to come on in, Dion, come on in and grab a seat. We're talking about whether or not customer service is overrated. And so far, the general consensus is that it is not overrated. And we all have had seemingly quite a few issues with, different experiences with customer service. So, okay, there's Bonet. Hey, Bonet, how you doing? Good, good. We just showed a video about customer service. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. Did you see it? Okay.
No, I didn't see it.
That's okay. We were doing this, showing a video with different people's perceptions of customer service. Now I want to ask you, since you're joining us. Oh, okay. Bonet's been logged on listening. Since you're just joining us, have you recently had any bad customer service experience? Do you care to share it?
Oh my God. You know what? I'm dealing with one as we speak right now.
Oh, wow.
It's so weird because, oh my God, it's crazy. But to make a long story short, I signed up to be a vendor at one event, and then the client sent me another application to be a vendor at another event, but it's at the same location. And the amount is different. One event is $175, and then the other event is only $75. So I was like, oh, no, wait a minute. I've done events at this hotel before, and I hope you're not trying to get over on me.
Right.
And of course, it got blew up, and I had to call my credit card company. And so now I just got off the phone with Discover, which is why I'm late getting on. And Discover, I'm telling you, if anybody have a Discover card, keep it. They have the best customer service ever. Yes. They will fight for their customers to the end.
Okay.
I was able to get through everything in a matter of 30 minutes. They were like, Ms. Thompson, don't worry. We're going to refund you your money. You don't have to worry about that vendor. And then one thing that I did notice about Discover is that Discover is tied with the Better Business Bureau. So they flag customers that you have problems with. And of course, that's not a good look for the customer, but it's a good look for us.
Right.
So I had it out today with Discover, and they satisfied my need. They took care of everything. I faxed them the documentation, and it all worked out. But some companies are not like Discover.
Right.
They don't go the whole 9 yards for you. They're so quick to want to just go ahead and take care of you and get you off the phone, and everything is happy. That's not good customer service.
Yeah, that was sort of my experience with UPS. I was sharing earlier that I had an issue with a package being delivered, and we're always excited when we get new gear, new packages, stuff. So I'm waiting for my stuff, and it doesn't come. So they said they're going to put it on the truck. First, I told them to wait. I'll pick it up. Then I said, you know what? Forget it. Just put it on the truck for the next day delivery. They never did. So I speak to the woman, and she says, I don't know why it didn't happen, but we can get it out tomorrow. I said, okay, I just want to be clear. You can get it out, or you will get it out. She says it's the same thing. I said, miss, no, it's not. There's a big difference between being able to and making the intentions to do it. So she got mad because I checked her, and she hung up on me. So of course I took it to Twitter, and I just blasted it. And I highly recommend any company that gives you a problem, you tweet about it. They will get someone on the phone, or they will send you an email ASAP. I don't like to be a complainer, but the few times that I've had issues with major brands, I've tweeted it, and someone has either called me or reached out to me almost immediately. So, and I let them know, UPS, it wasn't the driver's fault. but the customer service rep. However, get this, the driver delivers the package today, he bangs on the door, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, I hate that.
So I get up because at first I'm shocked because I wasn't expecting it. So I'm like, who is it? And as he's walking away, I can hear faintly, UPS. He's walking into the elevator and my package is standing right there at the door. So I was really teed off about that, but I'm still trying to decide whether I'm going to literally leave it alone or let them know about the driver, because I just told them it wasn't the driver's fault. But, you know, there's a message in everything. It's okay, though. It's okay. Hopefully my stuff is good and nothing is broken. After this blab, I will definitely check it and see that my gear is right. We have an extra seat. Vonet, I will encourage you to come on in. Miss Parker, I encourage you to come. Oh, okay, here she is.
I had an issue with Verizon this week. You know, I've been with Verizon. I don't know if you saw it. I did post it on my Facebook page. I had an
Hello,
issue
everyone.
with Verizon. Hello. And I've been with them for years.
Are they on a short leash now?
Huh?
Are they on a short leash now?
No.
You gonna get rid of them?
I'm leaning towards it.
Okay.
The prices are the prices are high, but they provide good cell services. I travel a lot to North Carolina to visit my family.
Right. I
lost 2 deaths at the beginning of this month, so there's a lot of things that I still need to clean up with the family. And they had poor cell service out there. But if you have Verizon, you're good.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I keep Verizon. But you know, this past week I ran into some flaws with them, and I was very disappointed. You know, my phone wouldn't beat up. I went to the store and I had to stand in line for 45 minutes. And when I got up to the counter, the guy was like, "What do you want?" And I'm like,
"What?
Oh, wait, oh,
yeah.
I pay $128 a month, and you're gonna ask me what do I want?"
Right.
Oh, you need to bring it down like 2 notches. I wanted to get indignant and ghetto with him, but I didn't. Because I'm a businesswoman, I'm professional. I walked in there, I had my t-shirt on, advertising my business. So I wanted to keep it, I wanted to bring it down a little bit. But you know, I was not happy with them this week. I mean, last weekend, and it was just not good.
You know, another way of looking at this, in fact, Bonet, I want to get your take on it too. Another way of looking at this, though, is out of all of the experiences we have, I know for me, most of my interactions with people, business, company, or not, are usually positive. Every now and then, when I get a negative interaction, it's like shocking to me, or it throws me off because I'm so used to having positive engagement. So that's why, like, for instance, today when the UPS guy banged on the door the way he did, although I know there was an issue, I'm considering letting it go because most of my interaction with people is positive. It's good, but not always. So, Vonet, can you hear us?
I can hear everyone. I can hear everything.
Have you had any negative or positive experiences that you can share with us regarding customer service recently?
Yeah. Well, not really much recently, but I have a municipal credit union where I get my direct deposit at from my employer. And
I'll be right back.
I had a bad experience with them because they only have customer service Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. There is no weekend customer service. There's no text message or electronic customer service you can do to, you know, send a message about what your current situation is and possibly get a customer service to call you directly. There is no communication at all. Unfortunately for me, one weekend I had an issue with my bank and my money was on a freeze and I could not speak to a live person the entire weekend to actually find out why there was a freeze on my money. And when I finally was able to speak to someone 3 days later when the weekend was over and it was now the business week, All I got from the customer service representative was, those are our hours. We're sorry we don't have 24-hour customer service available. We'll try to, give you an extra like free transfer on your account when you want to transfer money from checking to savings, or possibly let you join a holiday club or vacation club or something, without any kind of special fees. And to me, that really wasn't a great customer service experience, because you have no idea what my weekend was like, not being able to speak to anyone for 3 days. You don't know what my financial situation was, and you weren't even empathetic or sympathetic with me and my needs in this moment. So it was a bad experience, because this is my only bank account, number one. I get my direct deposit to this account, number two, and it looks good to have a credit union to be able to do loans or, invest. And I thought it had a better reputation than the service they provided, pretty much.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, what was the end result? Did you get what you want? Because I missed a little bit of it.
No, pretty much. I went the whole weekend with my bank account on freeze and not having the option to speak to a live person the entire weekend, because that's just the type of service they provide, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. customer service, and that's it. So if an event happens on a weekend and you need to call in, you're just out of luck.
So what are you going to do about it, though? Are you going to stay with them, or?
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to stay with them, but I'm going to get a new bank account as well, so I can have, maybe the majority of my money in a new bank account, and keep the credit union for any perks it may offer later on, like, car loan, home loan,
Good move.
Market money things. I'll keep it for that purpose, but I'm going to move the majority of my money into one of the Black-owned banks.
Yeah. I definitely encourage that. That's something that nationwide, I think a lot of us are moving to. We have to start thinking smart, even though this is not this is a customer service issue, because I don't want to get too deep into it, but if the people that our taxes pay to protect us, they aren't protecting us, that is poor customer service on a whole nother level. So by us moving some of our funds to Black institutions, that will affect the economy's bottom line, but we must remain consistent so that they feel it. We can't be on one day and off another day. We actually have to do this. We must take action. So I'll be doing the same thing, as well as many other African Americans. In fact, I called a couple of banks and they were saying, oh yeah, people are coming in, making deposits. So that's a good thing. So I'm moving in that exact same direction. Let's see what else is being said in the chat room. Okay. All right, well.
Can I jump back on the seat when I'm in the house?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
I'm only maybe 5 or 6 blocks away.
No problem. We'll see you then.
Bye, everybody. Be back.
All right. Sharon, if you'd like to jump in, you can jump in. Now we have an open seat. I'd like to hear about your customer service experience, if you have any that you'd like to share. I know I have had so many positive and negative ones, but like I said, most of my interactions are positive. So now that I'm sitting down and discussing this with y'all, I'm really reflecting, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? 9 times out of 10, my day flows. So I don't even really need to complain. I'm still grateful, but it's all good.
It's funny that you say that, Charles, is because today I went to lunch with a couple of coworkers. I'm not going to name the restaurant, but we went there and I ordered the same thing that I always order, and it was like the worst of the worst.
Wow.
But because I go there so often, and I've had just about everything on the menu that doesn't pertain to pork, because I don't eat pork.
Right.
It was good. But today, what I ordered was just like the worst. It was cold. It was soggy. And the plate just looked sloppy, like they just threw it together.
So why did you put milk in your cornflakes? No, I'm just kidding.
I was mad.
Right.
But I didn't say anything because I go to that same restaurant all the time and they know me.
Okay.
They say, hey, and they don't call me by my first name. They say, hey, Miss Thompson, how are you? Would you like your usual table? You know, and I like that. I mean, how many places do you go where they really recognize you and know you? And then do you really want to sit there and complain about the meal that you had when you know you go there all the time? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing this time, but the next time.
No doubt. Right.
Yeah. So lunchtime was not a good thing for me today. I was kind of mad. And I had my heart set on it.
Right, right.
Go to a place and you have your heart set on something and you know that that's what you want. And then when you get it, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not good. It wasn't good at all. So I just didn't say nothing. I went ahead and paid the bill. I even tipped the waiter 18%. And I just went on about my day.
Oh, you are real good. You see?
I do the 18%. I'm sorry.
I like certain Chinese food, and I don't like Chinese fast food. I like Chinese sit-down restaurants.
Yeah, me too.
Because I can taste, I don't know if it's MSG or something about it. Sometimes to me, there is a difference in the taste or the quality of the food. So, and I'm not a big buffet person for that same reason.
Buffet.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Sharon, you look like you froze. Your screen is froze. I'll see if she'll probably pop back up. She may have to refresh her screen. But yeah, you know, I like what I like, and you know, I can't. Sometimes people told me that I'm too particular, but I can't just put anything in my body if I'm not satisfied.
That's me. My coworkers tell me all the time, Dion, you too damn. Oh, excuse my language. You too daggone picky. And I was like, no, what? If I'm paying my money,
right,
I should be able to get whatever it is that I want,
right,
regardless of if it's this or that. I'm paying my money.
Okay.
And I have the right to be picky when I'm paying my money.
Absolutely.
So, but today, yeah, my lunch was spoiled. I was hoping to come home to some good dinner, and I didn't even get that.
Wow. Okay. I see Miss Parker's Sharon, you back on.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
So, you know, everybody has shared a customer service story, a good one and or a bad one, Sharon. So I want to get some feedback from you. Do you have a good or bad customer service experience?
Well, I can't say that I have really, because I have learned to face the fact that society has changed dramatically in how we communicate. People are so busy on their smartphones, on their tablets, and businesses are, you know, all of the above, and businesses are so, in my opinion, overwhelmed. There's so many people losing staff across the country because jobs are not as plentiful as it used to be.
Right.
So trying to take all of that into account whenever I'm having a problem with something, I use it as an opportunity to educate, because I know there's a lot of new people working in jobs today that they never probably worked in over their careers, because the economy has changed on so many different levels.
Okay.
So I don't let myself get out of control or get upset. I spend the majority of my time articulating clearly what my problem is. And so often I find myself educating people and even helping them learn sometimes even their own jobs. So I've been in the game for a while, so I kind of know, you know, the network and who I'm working with, the businesses is who I do business with. And I'm here to say that there's a lot of people who really are new at their job. So I'm patient with them, and I don't let that bother me.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on which side of the coin you're on, but I know for myself, Again, I know I could be a little biased because, again, I do teach customer service, so I kind of see where people go wrong, or I guess the bottom line is many people are not in the ideal job. Let's just call a thing a thing. I understand that people have to take jobs because they have to make ends meet. Can't complain about that. The bottom line is people need to make money so they can survive and take care of their families, but some people are just in the wrong jobs. They don't have what it takes to be that frontline person, whether it's their tact, knowing their nuances, knowing how to smile, know how to make a person feel comfortable. And I won't say it's their fault, but again, if you just have to get a job and that happens to be all that's there, that's all that's there. But there's a lot to be said about companies who won't invest in their people and either having them trained or trying to teach them themselves. It's just a necessity. It's just a necessity.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Your blab is customer service overrated?
Right.
Is it the intention to show that it's not overrated, and we want to give some recommendations on, what we can offer to whatever industry to instill them to better their customer service? Or is the intention of the blab is just to share our experience? I'm just curious.
Share your experience. The intention doesn't really matter. It's just about what's your take. If your take is that you think it's overrated, I like to hear that. If you think it's not, I like to hear that as well.
Okay.
Being an instructor, again, my perspective is that it's not. It's not overrated. It's underappreciated. And it's underappreciated by companies and bosses and managers and supervisors and, big business. And you can't expect an employee to go into a company with no customer service experience and teach themselves. That's not realistic. It's just not. So, I was hoping to get, different views and people sharing their different negative stories, their different positive stories. I just think that's all important,
Mm-hmm. Well, what I did have a problem about maybe, I would say about 4 months ago. I took a external drive to Best Buy, and I wanted to buy a casing for it because my old casing had broke. So all that I knew about it was, look, you have the case, you installed it in the drive in the new case, and when I cut the drive back on, it's supposed to work. Okay, it wound up not working. I was livid because I had years of personal and videos and business stuff on it. When I calmed down, and I wasn't too irate, but when I did get past the fact that I think I may lose my data, I did some research on my own. I had to go back and forth to Best Buy for about 3 different times, but the first time I left them, when it wasn't working, I went back to my job. I pulled up the website and I asked, I asked the question, what could go wrong with external drives when you're buying a new encasing? Well, one of the things they said is you should never take the drive apart before you get to the place where you're going to install it, because you could damage the data. Okay, I wasn't privy to that information. No one shared that information, and that data was, from their perspective, lost, not because they put the drive in the case wrong. It's because the drive was taken out, the information was taken out of the encasing before it got there. In my mind, I felt like they should have told me that before they even installed the new drive, and they didn't. But I had to face the fact that there was 2 reasons that I could have lost my data. One, the mistake that was made on the front end, which was taking it out the case. And secondly, them not knowing that because I didn't share that with them. So I'm sharing that in their eyes, they were doing the right thing as far as customer service. It's just that I had to learn the mistake that was made. And it wasn't up for me to get upset because I didn't know what I was doing or what I allowed to be done. So again, I like to look at customer service as an educational perspective, and if we can help one another on the front end and back end, I think that it will really inspire people to continue to just work together, because so many people have attitudes, and I'm scared about society now. I think we have so many people that just can't wait to get upset, can't wait to yell, can't wait to get indignant because they want what they want. And they don't take the time to really express what's really gone wrong. And that's a culture issue. That's not customer service. That's just a cultural issue that needs to be addressed.
Okay, you got so many things all in that comment. First of all, I remember that situation with the external job. I don't totally buy that, not from you, but from their point of view, Best Buy, because I have had so many hard drives that I've taken out of my computer, bought the enclosure, put it in an enclosure, and turned my old hard drive into an external hard drive. Now, I know it's true what they're saying could happen, but I believe since they were not able to fix it or retrieve the data, that's what they lean to. But I don't believe it, because I'm not an IT professional, but as a layman who has a desire to keep my my contacts, my information all together, I know how to do it myself. And if they couldn't do it, I think they look for whatever reason or whatever probable reason they could give you, the customer, as their logic, basically putting it back on you. Wow, we couldn't figure it out. Well, if you hadn't taken it out, yeah, but you didn't tell her that. But that's another story.
Yeah.
One of the last things you said really struck a nerve with me about people not being able to wait to get upset. And you have a good point. I think that people are in pain though. People are so frustrated. People are so stressed out. And it's not just the shootings. It's also the economy. It's also, not being able to move where you want to. It's also, not feeling that people care about you or respect you. I think there's a combination of things that are happening in this time. We're in 2016. This is a very sensitive time in our world.
Absolutely.
And I don't know that it's just the United States. I really don't know. But what I do know is that people are on edge. People are very frustrated. People are hurt. They want to be heard. Some people don't know how to express themselves, so they lash out. Some people feel, again, they're not valued, so they lash out. So it says basically that you're right, it's on so many different levels, but there are reasons why. And most people are not concerned with the reasons. They're just dealing with the various independent episodes. From my perspective, that's what I see.
And I totally agree with you, but I really have to, if whoever's out there in the virtual world, because things are so sensitive right now, and because so many issues are so hot and meaningful right now to people that have them, unbalanced for whatever reason, I think that especially if you're a professional, and I think that's the arena that we're talking about right now, you have to maintain your control. You have to maintain your emotion. As quiet as I may be sometimes, I think a lot of things in my head. And as I see people act the way they act, and I'm talking about professional people. I'm not just talking about, the average person that's walking the street, but I'm talking about us, sometimes us professional people. Sometimes we put on a farce like we're all this and we're all that because we wear this professional hat or whatever. But that person on the inside, when other people are not watching, sometimes really shows up. And people don't think it's showing up, but it is. So I empower people to, check their heart, really, check their heart and just be patient. And again, most importantly, watch your mentality, your emotions, put it in check. We're in a drama-based society. and everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to have their point heard. And to me, you got so many people talking and not enough people listening. And that culture needs to be changed.
Well, there's a phrase that says, seek to understand, then to be understood. And I can relate to that. As a speaker, it's very challenging for me because I'm used to this talk. However, it's so hard to do that sometimes, especially if you've been offended. Like this UPS thing with me, right? Now I can harp on the fact that I can't believe this dude banged on my door like that and walked off. Didn't even wait for me to answer the door directly, but because there's another issue, I can let that ride me, and I can lose it because of that. Go on Twitter, call customer service, email, whatever. But when you're in the heat of the moment, you're a human being and you don't always have it together. I know that I should keep it together. I know I should not be emotional, but it's not always easy to do that. It can be very challenging, and that's keeping it real. Being a professional or not, national trainer, speaker, author or not, I have emotions and feelings, and if I'm offended, I'm offended. I'm not going to always have it all together. I'm not going to always pray right there on the spot to do the right thing. I should, but I may not. I'm just saying, just keeping it real.
Right. I mean, like you said, everyone is human and people are going to get annoyed, especially with life being so fast paced. And it's just unbelievable how people are just thinking they're addressing your problem, but they're really not. And at the end of the day, it's all about communication.
Yeah.
I know for me, my personality, I know how I get when I'm upset. So I fight that person 24/7. Honestly, I do not want that person to come out, and I make sure that I control that emotion, because there are a lot of people that will annoy you. And at the end of the day, I'm glad I go to church. I'm glad I go to Bible study, because my biggest challenge in life has been, first of all, taming the emotion where people don't get under my skin. And it takes a lot to do that. It really does. It takes a lot to have control, to not let people get under your skin. But over a period of years, as I've grown up, when I was younger, hang it up. Nope. You said anything wrong to me, I don't care who you were, it was good as done. But I grew up. And when I grew up, I learned to check my emotions. I learned to assess a situation. And again, I take the opportunity to try to learn and educate at the same time. And I know we can do both of them. We can learn and educate. I can easily assess if someone really don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about. I can easily assess it. But I don't always want to call them out. I don't want to embarrass them. I don't want to make them feel bad that because they didn't understand something from A to Z that they're wrong about something. I'll use it as an opportunity to say, well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that?
I know for myself, part of my issue was that when I was younger, now I'm talking about much younger, I was an introvert. I was a quiet kid. And there were times I didn't think I was heard. Definitely did not plan on becoming a speaker of any type. This is just not something I even considered, ever heard of, wasn't of interest. Although there are, deacons and ministers in my family, but it just wasn't something that I aspired to. But I felt that in certain cases I was either pushed around or not taken seriously, taken lightly, overlooked, all those sorts of things at different points. And I know I didn't like that. When I developed the voice as an adult, as a man, now my perspective is different. So I really must monitor myself, because as sensitive as these times are, I'm not trying to go out on a humbug, but at the same time, I'm not trying to allow myself to be out of pocket in the general public because there is something that I stand for that's more meaningful. But don't take kindness for weakness, you know. And again, I must watch myself because, you know, I just, you know, I guess in a way I'm defending that little boy and I'm defending the man as well. So that's my point. Olane's trying to come in now.
Dion, I don't know if I wanted to share something with you. Today I had a meeting with the Blacks in Government chapter at HUD, and we meet every, you know, third Thursday of the month. And I know you know a lot about Blacks in Government, but what's been very annoying for me is that people wait until the absolute last moment to submit their reports. Fundraising reports, treasury reports. I know you could appreciate this. Yes. All of these reports that you have to report. I mean, we have 88 members in our chapter for the HUD chapter. Wow. And as the new president for that chapter, you know, I have to make sure they're all up to speed on what we've been discussing for the last 2 to 3 months. So it's imperative that people provide their reports in time. As of today, this morning, no reports was provided. None. So I could have easily got upset. I could have easily got annoyed, but I sent out a friendly email from Outlook, because that's how the invite comes out. And I simply say, good morning, everyone. Great opportunity to get involved with some special committees group that we have going on. For new members, please join in on our call today because you can learn a lot about our committees. And then I put in the email that went to everyone. All who has not had an opportunity to submit your report, please provide them to me so that I can share it with the, you know, the members at 12 o'clock. They start flowing in with the reports. Why? Because I put them out there in a good way, not in a bad way. I open up the opportunity to invite people, you know, to join our meeting, number one. Number two, I gave them ownership by saying, look, we got some good chairs, good committee members with some good groups. So now they got to speak up to it. So I'm just using that as an example of how you can take an opportunity, a pour, whatever you may want to call it, and turn it into something positive where everyone can benefit from it.
It's so funny that you bring that up. I was sharing before you got on, Sharon, about my experience with Verizon, and I found the email that I sent to them. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and I'm not gonna try to be something that I'm not. But I am one of them type of people that I will just fly off the handle in the minute. And I see where I get it from. I get it from my mother, because my mother does the same thing. Took her to a restaurant. She was mad. The salad wasn't right. She went off, and the next thing you know, we get put out the restaurant. Okay, I that's me. But I've learned to calm down because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about that person that's servicing me.
Right.
They have a job. I already got a job. I may be paying them for a service, but they have to keep their paycheck by telling me whatever it is that I want to hear. Mm-hmm. And I say that because one of the things that I don't like from customer service people is that, and I posted this on my Facebook page, is that I'm sorry that you're having that problem. That's one of the worst things you can tell me. Girl, that sets some fuel under my fire, and it just sets me off, and I just get angry because I hear it so much. And then one of the other things that they say is that I'm going to try to do everything that I can to help you. Oh, man. I'm mad. I'm pissed off. I'm fired up now because you done said those two phrases that I don't want to hear. So now, as I've gotten older, as I've gotten wiser, you know, I just sit back and I just say, I'm on the phone and I just say, you know what? Okay. I have hypertension. I can't get my blood pressure up high. And I suffer from anxiety. So I don't want to get my anxiety going through the roof. So I just say, you know what? Okay, I'll be on the phone with you. And then whatever it takes, you know, whether I'm on the phone, I was on the phone with them for an hour and a half. On the 18th. When was the 18th? Monday. And it took everything in my power. I wanted to use my language. I wanted to cuss.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to call them some names. I wanted to go off. But I said, how is that going to benefit me? I'm not going to be able to get what I want from them. So, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and sit here and chill out, get me a glass of wine, and just enjoy the 1 hour and a half conversation until they fix my phone. And you know what? At the end of the day, even though it took an hour and a half and I was pissed off mad, my blood pressure was high, I had my wine, they fixed it.
Good.
Suggestion.
An hour and a half was a long time, but good.
I got a suggestion.
You know what? The old Dion, woo! I probably would have been on Verizon doorstep. You. But it takes a lot to just almost get a peace of mind and be able to deal with it.
My suggestion is this: depending on what type of service, I mean, you want to be professional or respectful no matter what. However, depending on the type of service, you gauge on how direct you want to be. For example, if it's anything dealing with food or beverages, someone preparing something that I'm going to put into my body, I'm going to be very respectful, direct, but not condescending. If it's something that an inanimate object, I don't know, my cell phone, my eyeglasses, you know, I may have to be a little more direct with you because you have to fix this and you can only control with certain aspects of this. If you are not the scientist that fixes the strength in my glasses, once it's fixed, it's done. But if you're preparing my food, I don't know what you're going to do in the back. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to be extra demanding, and I'm definitely not going to be disrespectful. Because if anything, I might just say, that's okay, I don't want anything. If I can't trust you. But again, depending on what it is, what level of service will determine on how direct I am. You know, so that's something you may want to use as a gauge to determine. And then I see Cashel Bonet made comment. She said, the customer is not always right. That slogan is overrated. Actually, the slogan is the customer is always right, but I don't believe that's true. Honestly, I don't believe the customer is always right. You can make the customer feel like they are, but I don't believe personally that the customer is always right. What do y'all think? David, do you think the customer is always right?
Absolutely not. I know that. Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with you. I think some customers are just gaming because they know, oh, there's a hair in my food. I don't want this. Oh, that steak's not good. Yeah, but how much did you already eat? I don't want that. Send it back. Yeah, all kinds of reasons the customers are not right.
Okay, wait a minute for a second, guys. Let's put it in perspective.
Okay.
I think when you're working in certain fields or profession, for example, I used to work in retail at, where was it? Nordstrom and also Lord & Taylor. And when they did orientation training, one of the things they instilled in me as a retail salesperson is that a customer is always right. Now, what they were basically trying to teach me is most customers who buy something from you, and if they don't like it anymore for whatever that reason may be, you have to always listen to their point of view. And if you can't address their concerns, if they seem shady or they did something wrong for whatever reason, it is not your job to address it. The protocol is that when a customer gets a little irate for whatever reason, we were told to always contact the supervisor and have the supervisor address that customer. But from a retail salesperson, you treat the customer as they're always right. And then again, I'm being a little redundant, but the key is you can't control whatever they don't like. And you can't control how they communicate to you. So you have to elevate it up to a supervisor who can address it.
That's a good point. I agree with everything you said, except for they still may be wrong. And again, I teach customer service. They still could be wrong, but you're right. Treat them as if they're right, or make them feel like no matter what they did, shady or not, I understand. I apologize that we're having this miscommunication. Let's see what we can do to fix it or to address it. I got you. But don't think I'm just going to go for anything you say. Reba said, good maneuver, Sharon. Once you delegate, don't buy it back. I applaud your strategy. People need to feel needed and strongly encouraged to complete their the commitments. You gave your officers an opportunity to shine with you. Okay, that was your earlier comment. And Vonay said, that's what I mean. The customer is always right, is wrong, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, yeah, I agree with you, Vonay. The customer's not always right, but they try to convey that message. She says, while employers teach employees that customers learn how to get over on the company. Yeah, absolutely. There's some people that do that as a profession, whether they're boosting, outright stealing, or constantly manipulating. There are people that actually do that. And David said, I try to never sacrifice my character and integrity to address another's.
Yeah.
I'm still growing, David. I'm still growing, man.
Me too. Me too.
Yes, absolutely. Mary, feel free if you'd like to add any comments. We'd love to hear your comments on, do you think that customer service is overrated? So far, I think we have a general consensus that it is not overrated. And I think we've all had pretty good reason to feel that way. But yeah, I tell you.
One of the questions that I would like to ask is that how do you handle not only your integrity, but your attitude when it comes to customer service? Because for me, I know sometimes I can go above and beyond the expectations of just blowing off the handle, depending on the situation. Like my phone, I don't know you guys, my cell phone is my life. If I lose my cell phone, well, I can't say that because now I got smart and I back my cell phone up to my computer once a week. But my cell phone is my life. If I lose my cell phone, it's like my business is dead. I'm dead. I can't communicate. I can't operate. I don't have that old time phone book with the phone numbers in it. So when I get on the phone with Verizon, I'm like, look, I pay you all this money every month. You need to fix this phone and you need to fix it right now because this is my business.
But what about those 3 books you told us you had a couple weeks ago?
I ain't even going into that. I'm just saying.
Funny. Oh no.
I'm just messing with you.
Leave her alone.
You got these books, but still, think about it. You don't you lose your emails. I lose my calendar.
Yes.
I lose contact information. I lose previous text messages about an event that's coming out. I lose all kind of stuff with my cell phone. So when I was on the phone with him Monday and that guy was on the phone and he was like, I think he was trying to just blow me off, but I had to pull out the old Dion and I didn't want to do that.
Oh.
So how do you guys handle a situation such as when you want something, you need it right then and then, and it's no and ifs, buts about it. I know me, I blow off the handle. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
I'll say.
I blow up.
Hold on, we got a comment on the side. I think it's Mary. Mary said, ask them what can be done. That's a good point. Basically, she puts it back on them to have to give her something to go on. You know, I know for me, if I know anything about your business, whether it's the customer service part, IT, you don't want me as a customer. I've done so many different jobs or had so many different exposures to different things in sales and in service that I don't want to have to tell someone how to do their own job. But I try to say, okay, you know, I understand if I have to wait, no problem. Listen, can you take care of this? It's going to take a lot of time, or is it going to take a long time, or should I need to come back, or what's the best approach? I try to make them feel like they are the professional. You know, you probably know this better than me. How can we fix this? Then I sit back and watch them. Kind of like what Mary is saying. You know, ask them. Put it back on them. And hope they don't get stupid.
Well, Verizon was real stupid with me on Monday. But we got it and it worked out and I was happy and I didn't even care no more.
Oh, okay. Well, they said, I speak to a higher authority. So ask for their supervisor or manager. That's a smart move. Yeah, real smart.
But then sometimes you get them and they don't even know what's going on.
And I have a question. Yeah. I have a question. That's something I want to bring to what Dion just mentioned. And I don't know how many people are federal government employees. If you are, you're going to really appreciate, hopefully, this analogy. I hear all the time that government employees don't know what they're doing. You call their offices, they're never there. They don't return phone calls. They're not at their desks. And when you get them on the phone, they always transferring you from one office to another office, to another office, to another office. And I've heard a lot of people over the years complain about that. Because again, I've been in the government for 30 years. And one of the things that I get it from people is that the true thing is about it, people don't know what they're doing. And because they don't know what they're doing, they feel more comfortable just transferring you all over the place. Now, let's just backtrack. That was 30 years ago. Let's come up 15 years now, and even 30 years now. There's a lot that has changed in the federal government. You have so many people who have left, retired, and they never transitioned the knowledge to the new people that's on board. So here we are, we're building a culture of people who want to, do better, but for whatever reason, they can't because they're not knowledgeable. They're not what I would call a subject matter expert.
You saying in regards to customer service?
In regards to customer service, anytime you call, a government job, you might as well say that's customer service because somebody wants some help in whatever arena they want help. But if you don't have the resources to really provide, valuable information, people get frustrated over a period of time. And if you are accustomed to that type of atmosphere, it, I guess, behooves you even more to understand some of those cultural, social issues that's impacting people's being impatient. And I hope I'm not, a roundabout with this, but I'm just saying that as professionals, we have to do our part to understand what's really happening out in the community on so many different levels. I can't even express so many dysfunctional things that's happening in the community that people have lost the ability to communicate effectively for so many reasons. And I think that there's an opportunity there for us as professionals to address it. But I guess we can sit on this blab all day and complain, but what is it going to do to fixing the real issue, in our community? What value can we add to really start helping people address some of the real issues that's addressing that people are dealing with? So I'll leave it
say
that.
Old school style, some people just pass the information down. You know, they weren't trying to be professional in any particular way, or it was just like, look, this is how we do things here. And they would tell the next person, or they would share it with their department. But now it's like there is this level of expertise. You're supposed to get trained in this or trained in that. And I think, again, part of it goes back to people being so self-absorbent and afraid if they tell you too much, you may outshine them.
Good point.
And at the same time, some people don't know or don't trust or believe in their company, their agency. I know when you don't care, it's like, why should I bother to tell someone else? They don't listen to my suggestions, or they aren't trying to elevate me. Why should I take any time that I'm not asked, especially I'm not asked to do it, and share with this other person, or this person coming into the department, or this person getting an opportunity to be on the front lines or answer phones? Why should I tell them anything? If they don't know, that's on them.
And I think that's the wrong way of thinking, because at the end of the day,
perspective, you're right. You're right.
At the end of the day, when you accept a job, a federal job, you work for the public. You don't work for, unfortunately, the unprofessional, sometimes even managers, you know, that are supposed to be knowledgeable about their job.
You have to realize the times that we're living in. If you go back, maybe even to the 80s, I'll say, and that's stretching it, because that was the crack era. If you go back to the 80s, it's a possibility that that old mentality of showing people what has to be done took place. But now people are stressed. People aren't feeling valued. People are self-absorbent, and all these other emotions and things I mentioned. If in their orientation, they were told or asked to participate, to be willing to give of themselves, if it was expressed in such a manner that they would consider, well, this is just a part of the culture, things might be a little bit like what you're suggesting. I don't know that government agencies, convey that.
I'm going to just address with me. I like to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. And one of the ways of being part of the solution and not part of the problem for an individual perspective, you have to know some of the ills in communication and what goes wrong. At the end of the day, you have to be responsible what comes out of your mouth and how you try to educate people, or, you know, train them from your perspective based on whatever it is. So I can't speak for the whole universe of how government employees function, but at the end of the day, I get it why people are the way they are, but
go ahead, Dion.
We're professionals, and we have to act that way, in my mind, 24/7.
I was going to say, from a government perspective, I'm a budget analyst. I've been with the federal government for November of this year will be 17 years. And one of my jobs is to oversee my customer, to make sure that, number one, my customer is happy, my customer is trained, my customer know what it is that they have to do, and my customer is aware of my tactic. And when I say my tactic, they know what my policy and procedure is to get my job done, because what they don't do will fall back on me at the end of the year. And that reflects my performance review. So on my job, I have to provide customer service. When they come to me and they ask me questions and they want information, or they have something that they need to get done, it is my job to provide them customer service as their budget analyst. So yes, Sharon, you are correct. Government has changed. Yeah, I've been in the game for 17 years, but I haven't been a budget analyst for 17 years. I haven't managed a $26.8 million budget to be able to know what it is that my customer needs. So I'm on the opposite side of the fence now. I'm the customer service representative. And now I have to provide this service to my customers.
That's right.
And when they come to me, they want answers, and they want it like.
That's right.
They want it like that. And I have to be able to provide them with that information. And if I can't, what they're going to do? They're going to go to my supervisor. And what's going to happen? That's going to reflect me at the end of the year when I'm trying to get that bonus, or I'm trying to get that extra cash, or I'm trying to get that extra grade or that extra step. You know, so at the end of the day, we have to put ourselves on both sides of the fence.
Absolutely.
I'm on both sides of the fence. I provide customer service all day, every day. That's my job. As a budget analyst, I have to support my client. My client is the hierarchy. Okay, I do that. But then I go out to a restaurant and eat, and now I'm greeted with the waitress. Okay, well, then, you know, now here we go, you know, back and forth. So at the end of the day, I'm on both sides of the fence. Right. I get it. I've been a waitress before. I've worked in fast food before. I did it when I was in college to get myself through college, you know, so I understand. Now, as I've gotten older, I've learned to scale back a little bit. You know.
So it goes back to the old phrase we were talking about earlier, the golden rule.
Yes.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
You know, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all.
Right.
You know, all those seemingly antiquated phrases, I think they're very important even today. You know, we don't think about it that way, but I mean, I'm old school. I'm corny. I don't care. I tell it like it is. You know, when you have those, I guess those foundation those foundations built into you, or you have that foundational perspective, it's just updated with different language today. That's all. You know, so what Vonet was saying, I have to leave everyone. It was great, a great blab tonight, a little longer than I expected. Okay, not a problem. We appreciate you. And we are over, but I'm glad we had a chance to, you know, even take it further than where it started. So if there are any other comments, feel free to post them. If not, just want to thank everybody for participating in the blab. And remember, every week what we do is, or what I do is, I put out something on LinkedIn, a topic, whether personal development or professional development. And it's usually based around 3 tiers of success: leadership, transformation, and self-esteem. And then on Thursdays, like today, it's turned into a blab so we can have a discussion about that. So once again, thank you for coming. And remember, the cure for your life starts with you. The right mindset is all you need. Have a good night.
Yes.
Good night.
Y'all have a great night.
You too, everyone. Bye-bye.
Charles, can you call me? I need a favor. I need you to help me with something.
Alrighty, not a problem.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.